another Sunday, which means another hymn backstory. But before we get in, like always, please like, subscribe, so you never miss a video. Hit the bell icon, click all notifications. I would really greatly appreciate it. I would appreciate the comments. I know my dad has caught up with my videos now. And he commented on each and every one saying how he has enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed doing it, so just let me know if you also enjoy it like us. I mean, I would like it. If you have any suggestions, please put those in the comments below, and I will do my absolute 100% best to try to get it to you in a timely manner. I have already chosen hymns for the next 2-3 weeks, I believe, because we're coming up on Easter and I wanted to do some resurrection hymns and some hymns on the cross. But after that, just let me know what you want to hear. Alright, to get into today's hymn backstory, and this was actually, I chose this hymn for today because my pastor's mom just passed away Tuesday. We're thinking early afternoon, and I wanted to do a song about heaven and how we can have comfort and that we'll be able to see her again. She was a great prayer warrior. I mean, my pastor has told me many times that his mom, she prayed for me every single night, which I didn't start at my church until July 2020. And that really touched me. If he would forget to pray for me, his mom would remind him. And he's prayed for my family. She had like prayer cards for almost everybody in our church. And it wasn't just like, please bless Becky or please bless so and so. She had prayer cards and she had specific requests that she was praying for each person, which is very touching and very touching and something that every Christian should strive to be. So I wanted to do Shall We Gather at the River for today's backstory, just so that you have a good reminder that we'll gather around with the saints who have gone before, around the crystal clear water that's running through heaven, and we'll meet at Jesus' feet. So Shall We Gather at the River was written by Robert Lowry, who was also a preacher, but he's best known and was able to put some of his best thoughts into poems and hymn writing. It was said of his preaching style that he painted vivid pictures with his words. And as a musician, I always like to word paint what's in the hymn with the lyrics. And it really does help when you have a writer who is always really imaginative with his words, draws you in. And with his sermons and his poetry, Robert Lowry was able to do that. This hymn was actually written because he decided to take a lazy day. We'll just put it that way. It was in the heat of summer. Yes, he was in New York, up north. But it does get hot up north. Trust me. Now, if you're from the south, you think, oh, it's all balmy up north. No. it does get hot in the summer up north. Trust me. I live in the south now, but spent 2 years in Pennsylvania, so that's how I know. And when it's in the middle of summer, you don't want to be working outside anywhere. And that's what Robert Lowry was doing. He was working outside, then he was like, I don't want to do this. But as he was kind of taking a break, cooling off, he decided to start thinking about different hymns, and he started thinking about clear, cool water, probably because he was hot. And he realized no one has written any songs about the river of life. You know, that's the river that flows in heaven to the throne of God. It was always the river of death that he heard. So he decided he wanted to write a song, write a hymn about the river of life and how we will all gather around the throne and gather around the river. And in the book, Then Sings My Soul, by Robert J. Morgan, this is, I summarized most of the article, but I am going to read some of Robert Lowry's own words on why he wrote this hymn, why he wrote Shall We Gather at the River. It says, one afternoon in July 1864, when I was pastor at Hanson Place Baptist Church in Brooklyn, the weather was oppressively hot, and I was lying on a lounge in a state of physical exhaustion, felt almost incapable of bodily exertion, and my imagination began to take itself wings. Visions of the future passed before me with startling vividness. The imagery of the apocalypse took the form of a tableau, which, if you don't know what a tableau is, it's like a still picture. A still picture created just by people standing or sitting there. Think of portraits, how they would have to pose for portraits before there were any cameras. That's what a tableau is. Brightest of all were the throne, the heavenly river, and the gathering of the saints. My soul seemed to take new life from that celestial outlook. I began to wonder why the hymn writers had said so much about the river of death and so little about the pure water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and the Lamb. As I mused, the words began to construct themselves. They came first as a question of Christian inquiry. Shall we gather? Then they broke out in a chorus, Yes, we'll gather. On this question and answer, the hymn developed itself. And he also wrote the music, because he wanted to have something that matched the lyrics that he wrote. Matched the mood. Shall we gather at the river, where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God. That's kind of, are we going together? And then the chorus is happiness, Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. So, and it was written in 1864. I read that, but I always want to say. And again, I do not claim any rights to Then Sings My Soul. Just my summary. I did read off more of the article than in my previous videos, just because it was Robert Lowry's own words on why he wrote the hymn. Robert J. Morgan and Thomas Nelson own the right to the book. I own my rambling summary. And now we're going to play it. Alrighty. Alright, y'all have a blessed week. Happy Sunday. And I will see you next week with another hymn video, if not before.